We are live. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Welcome to the first in the series of the Redefining Masculinity Today. You know, it's amazing how this topic came up, and this coincided with the 20th anniversary of my wedding. Yes, my marriage, so to say. And in those thoughts, I was talking to a few of my colleagues, and I said, look, it's important to share my own perspective as to how men should see themselves in these times, and how the men and the women that love them should also begin to appreciate them. So we're going to be talking about different perspectives over the next 20 days. And I'm hoping that you are well able, to take on this, full strength. One thing that is interesting to note is, people just say, look, what does it really mean to be a man in today's world? So if you're joining us, if you're in a WhatsApp group, can someone just let them know, yes, come on live, join us, yes, come on YouTube, yes, we are live now. Could somebody share the link on YouTube, and then we'll just keep rolling. We'll do this in 35 minutes, 40 minutes max, and we're done to prepare for tomorrow. Yes. It's interesting times that we're in, and I'm particularly intrigued by how over the years men have lost their primary mandate, and this is one of the reasons why we created this program, and I'm going to be sharing over the next 20 days. So let me even just get your thoughts, to know if we have any of our people online, coincided with the 20th. If we have any of our people online, if you are online, you want to leave a comment, or you want to ask a question, or you just want us to be able to talk about something, drop in a comment. We're well able to see you, and this promises to be highly enlightening, and most importantly informative, to enable you live your life successfully as a man, and to let the women want their men to live absolutely well, to also have a full understanding of how men operate in these times. Wow. So look, man, I've had issues, right? So I remember this journey that we talk about 20 years, has gone through phases, and with nuances, with perspectives, with paradigm shifts, with struggles. The first 5 years, like I always tell people, was like hell, and for whatever it is, I came into the marriage, all right, with my ego. Came in with some stereotypical thinking, and for whatever it is, it just caused a struggle. I started to unlearn some of those things. Having grown up in the Southwest, being raised by a single parent, my perspective about marriage and everything the man ought to do was totally flawed. And I'd never read any book about how to get married, what to do when you're in marriage, and I think that also kind of created some of the gaps that we experienced. So today, focus is on HusBANK versus HusBANK. Yeah, and someone is just wondering, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And truly, it's moved beyond just being the husband, and it's now about also not just being the HusBANK, rather, but truly being the husband. And why I needed to let you know is that the times that are in, you probably want to ask yourself this question: what does it really mean to be a man in today's world? Is masculinity still about strength and success, or has it evolved into something deeper? Okay, and there are different thoughts. In this context of today, masculinity can be dimensioned into 4 or 5 parts. At some point, we can say, oh, we're in a highly dynamic world. Okay, so the traditional roles are no longer applicable, as they were, where men would be the ones going to the farm, and they probably, just believe that they owned the manor, the wife, the children, and every other thing. So today that has shifted. Men then used to work tirelessly to ensure that there was food on the table. The men needed to have, what would I call it now? The production cycle. So he needed to increase the number of wives. So he worked tirelessly now. And during this time, there was just something that was extraordinary. People, the children, were also the factors of production. And all that the man did was to aggregate that, and it was a manager of human and all the other resources, as the case may be. Now, imagine that paradigm has transversed across Africa to the point where most men derive their role or derive their responsibility from their ability to be able to provide. But this misunderstanding in this particular modern times that we're in, some call it the post-truth era, having evolved several circles, is that this conflict, around materialism, success, strength, authority, cannot just be the definition of man. And I have witnessed this also across various levels, where a man would abdicate his responsibility, would transverse the whole of the world, and then you would find out that the father figure on the children is probably missing. And then these children probably just become recalcitrant in society. So it's clear that we can't just say the role of the man is to be the financial provider. The world that we're in has actually even changed that dynamics to the extent that even from faith, I'm a Christian, and there's also the biblical perspective as to masculinity, and that the man is supposed to be a nurturer, he's supposed to impact, he's supposed to be a leader, he's supposed to be a protector, he's supposed to be a guide. So when you abdicate those elements, you probably also have just started to flutter, and then you probably would have started to miss the real what of what it takes to be a man. So masculinity, as the case may be, just goes beyond financial provision. It's about responsibility, it's about love, it's about leadership, it's about nurturing future generations. And I think this is very crucial at this time, because somehow society has kind of become comatose, where men, even though they still provide or act as the financial the financial lead over the house, or somewhat the breadwinner, which in the course of even this our series are going to be even talking about what if the woman is the breadwinner, right? But the thought around all of this is to say, hey, we must get things going, right? And we must know how to operate in these times. Else you have a lot of men going into suicidal mode, or just abdicating their roles at home, having a lot of broken homes. Can we first even guide our men? And that's what influenced some of the things that we are saying and we're going to be sharing over the next 21 days. Okay? So, like I said, masculinity goes beyond financial provision. It's about responsibility. It's about love. It's about leadership. It's about nurturing future generations. Okay, so remember I said we could put this into 4 dimensions. One of these dimensions we could start to relate with would be masculinity in the VUCA world. Remember when I started to say that we're in a highly dynamic world where traditional roles no longer apply. So men are required to be adaptable and emotionally intelligent. Okay, those days when it was all about I'm the man or you don't respect me, those days are soon going into oblivion. So one of my closest friends, he found out at some point he got out of his workplace, and I also had experienced that at some point in my life when I was down to my last $30, and without a doubt, it kind of crushed me because prior to that time, and with some of the other men that experienced a similar thing, is that they had always been the provider. So the way they gained relevance was by providing. Okay, so you can imagine where you were down to your last $30, or somebody has lost his job, or you can't even pay the school fees, you can't even move on now, right? And in that, you must build resilience. Okay, because for me, it was about, look, I can't be down now, and if I cannot be down, I must pivot beyond this level. Okay, so the 6 months looked like over a year, but really, I needed to driving my energy, be present. I needed to find some inspiration, supported it home the way it was necessary. I also spent some few times with the children, support to the wife, and that clearly also started to show me how to reinvent myself. The other perspective at this time is in the post-truth era. So in today's age of social media and skewed narratives, many young men are influenced by shallow ideals, of masculinity. So they think you have to be aggressive. Some will say, you have to be dominant, alpha male. Some will equate success, with money and power. These are dangerous lies, I tell you. Dangerous, dangerous lies. So I've gotten some mentorship, and I've realized that these things were implanted in us by default, by nature or by nurture, to the extent that even whilst the mother is at home, she just leaves the boy to lay on the couch and says, if there are girls at home, can we get some food done? So for whatever reason, men start to have this delusion of grandeur, and they expect that same thing to be the norm all through life. I tell you, those times have shifted, and particularly in Africa, you must now learn to be vulnerable, where integrity and empathy becomes part of the key traits for your personal and professional growth. Okay, then there's technology. COVID, the staggering figures of divorce during COVID attest to this fact that, look, things have changed. Okay, the workplace has been redefined. Men's desires are shifting. Women's ego and desires are also shifting. So you find out that a place where a woman could probably not get to a few years ago, she's transversing those clients, those companies, those boards. She's probably also going to be a governor, right, or a president. Okay, so what then do you do? So the roles have to change. Prior to this time, you probably did not have so you had the first lady, right? So what would we call the guy now? The first gentleman. So what happens when then your wife, or you're in marriage, and then that person also now becomes gets elected, or gets a good job, or somehow becomes a CEO. So like in the financial sector now in Nigeria, we have a lot of women that are championing and leading their banks or financial institutions. So does that make them less of a woman, or does it make their husbands less of the men that they are? No. And that's what we're saying. We're redefining masculinity in this era. The fourth dimension also will be around the women equality, where there's so much drive, where men clearly are the endangered species. So, but you are not less of a man, okay? Just because there's advocacy going on. You are not less of a man because things are not going the way they should go. In fact, don't let anyone tell you you are not a man. Because, or tell me if you're a man. No, don't let anyone, you're a man, and it will not be because you're able to provide only. Yes, sufficiently, you should be able to provide. And I'm going to get into the 7 dimensions of, I call them the 7 P's, that embraces, this totality of what a man truly is. Okay, of what a man truly is. Okay, so look, I don't know if you have any thoughts, you could drop it in comment, but I want us to just progress with this thought, and I start to say, look, it's far beyond being the HusBANK. Okay, because you hear a couple of people go online like, I can't get married if it does not have money. I can't get married if it does not have a car. I can't get married if it does not give me this. I'm like, those narratives must change, right? Those narratives must change. They must change, and if they have to change, then we also must change, because the children are seeing what we're doing, the younger ones are seeing, the generations following us are seeing it. And so we must be able to get them to be able to have a full understanding of the times that we're in. And that, look, that nomenclature of the HusBANK, I don't know how it came into our mainframe, but that's not the true definition. Yes, it's not. Yes, so it's not just being the provider, and as we go on, you probably just begin to have a full understanding of this. So let me even hit this and get us running, because like I said, I don't intend to spend more than 35 minutes on this call. This is over 21 days. We have a different topic every other day, and that borders on everything that concerns redefining masculinity in this time. So the first element, the first dimension of masculinity in this time, okay, is that man is a protector. Okay, the man is a protector. He safeguards physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And let me explain that in its entirety. That man, okay, he is truly a protector. The husband in a relationship is a protector. He's someone who safeguards his family, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. He's the shield, ensuring the family feels safe and secure. That's the role of a protector. So when the man is in the house, it's like the cover. Okay, so you think about a father who, during a financial, emotional crisis, steps in to reassure his family. Like, look, don't worry, we're not coming down. We're going to make it. Okay, it provides stability and comfort. A reassurance, and they see him as a father figure. They know, like, look, he's trying. Okay, so it's not just about guarding them from physical harm, but it's about also offering them spiritual leadership by providing for them, helping them navigate challenges, with divine wisdom. This in contrast to the HusBANK, where the HusBANK provides financially for security measures, or secure a home. He probably will neglect that emotional or spiritual dimension of protection. He might just be absent when his family needs comfort and encouragement, seeking protection purely as a financial or a physical responsibility, and that shouldn't be the case. So man as a protector is sacrosanct in every relationship. It's very sacrosanct. It's critical in every relationship. One of the other things is that the man is a preserver. Yeah, he upholds family values, and nurtures righteousness. So there's this right living, right? Irrespective of your creed, your religion, your location, there's something about being living right and becoming a role model for your family, for your children, for your generation. And so the preserver, so you preserve, the values. Okay, for us, we have our internal values in our home, and one of the things that we try to do is we also have our family creed. We keep reaffirming this, we keep sharing this, we keep talking about it, because somehow in the days when we're not available, that is what is going to preserve the children. It's going to preserve them. It's going to preserve your family. So we must get to the point where we move beyond just seeing man as just a protector or a provider, but that man and the husband is a preserver. He maintains that moral and relational, value, where it drives the culture. It determines what is good. It's able to uphold what is truth and what is noble. Okay, it ensures that there's a family tradition. So sometimes we get into movie nights. Sometimes we say, oh no, can we get into some study? Sometimes as a family, we say, oh no, can we just even start to play some role play? Sometimes we chastise each other. We gear each other up. We motivate ourselves. That's what preservation is all about. So that's the second P. The man and the husband in this wise is a preserver. He is a preserver. So I'm seeing some comments. Someone says, "Oh yes, man is a preserver." Absolutely, man is a preserver. And yes. Now then, let's go to. I know everybody says, but so if man is a protector and then man is a preserver, is that all he has to do? Well, let's go to the third one. The third one is that man is a provider. The husband is a provider. It meets not just financial needs, but it also meets emotional and spiritual needs too. So you can imagine a man that is just doling out money, right? But is not able to meet his responsibilities emotionally, spiritually, all right, even socially. At some point, whoever it is will go and find succor, as to how to get it, remedied. So the essence is to say, look, we move away, shift away from just identifying your man as a protector alone, as a preserver, but also begin to understand that provision goes beyond finance, and that as the husband, as a provider, he ensures that his family needs, both emotional, physical, and spiritual, are met. Okay, so in addition to working hard to meet his family financial needs, he takes time, okay, to be emotionally present. Sometimes there's a need for someone to just be present, investing in the child's education, insights, inspiration, and instruction for their growth. Even for his wife also. So it provides wisdom, love and support that helps the family, thrive beyond just material wealth. So that when they see them, they say, look, if they see your family, say, oh, this family is blessed. Yes, you might not have $1 billion, right? But can we just even know that there's high morals, all right? There's this temperament that they exude. There's this, energy, this positive vibe that is uncommon, particularly in these times when people are conflicted and confused as to whether it's the husband or the husband. So the husband, does not just focus on the material, okay, or the financial, but if you notice what is going on now, the focus is solely on financial provision. It must be the breadwinner. So, but look at it now, like we painted those scenarios. What if she's the CEO or she's the president? What if she's the governor, all right? What if she's the speaker, right? Does it make him less of a man? No. His children must see him beyond just being the provider in terms of financial provider, but there's the emotional support, there's the spiritual covering, and that takes us to that element where we say the man is a procreator. Okay, so the first thing we said, man is a protector. The second one we said is a preserver of the culture, nurturing the culture and ensuring that it goes beyond his own generation. He's a provider, not just financially, but he's also emotional and spiritually present in the lives of his children and the entire family, as it were. but then also he's a procreator. So it's not just procreation in terms of fertilizing an egg biologically or in terms of reproduction. It's about nurturing and growing the next generation in wisdom and in strength. So, when we say we are procreators, and I'm not even an advocate for you to have many children, right? So, but can we nurture the ones we have? Can they become role models? Can they become examples, to drive change? So, as a father, as a husband, not HusBANK, you spend quality time infusing your children with insights, helping them develop skills as well as life skills. You share joy, emotions, struggles. You instill values, where, look, things might be going on around you, but they are able to press it. Whereas in these times, the focus is on the HusBANK, where fatherhood is solely fulfilled by just being financially and materially there. I say that's a misnomer. The fifth one, remember we started to talk about a bit of the spiritual element, is that man is not just a protector, where he raises children with love, wisdom, and godly principles. He is a priest. Yes, he is a priest. A man is a priest over his home. He is a priest, right? He is a priest. Someone is saying, Yes, he's a priest over his home. So he's praying now, he's prophesying now, he's declaring positive words now, he's speaking, life into the life of his children, into his family. He's speaking hope. He's giving them, a sense of belonging. And that's what a priest is, someone that acts like the spiritual heir, someone that, stands in the gap, someone that doesn't just frolic all night, partying and forgetting that there's a need to bring in the spiritual covering over his family. So the fifth P, today we're talking about the 7 P's in redefining masculinity. The fifth P is that man is a priest. He leads the family in faith and in spiritual growth. I need to run now because I think we're moving way behind time. The sixth thing that man is that man is a partner. He works alongside his woman as an equal and supportive partner. The problem we have now is that women also, and maybe we'll do a series on redefining the femininity in these times, because women now need to start to see themselves as partners. Yes, in as much as the advocacy is going on for equality, we must also begin to see and have that paradigm shift where women begin to see themselves as partners, and partners collaborate together. So there's this thing around the draft horses, that the draft horse, a single draft horse, can pull maybe 4 tons. So for lack of better, and I'm just giving some analogy here now, and this is fact, you can verify that the draft horse, alone can pull 4 tons, 4 tons of weight, 4 tons of weight. Now, but if you bring the draft horse with another draft horse, together they can pull 16 tons. They can pull 16 tons. It was also Stephen Covey that talked about 1 + 1 is equals to 8. And also even with scripture, they say 1 will chase 1,000 and 2 will put 10,000 to flight. So in essence, once we understand our partnership role, where the woman also is an equal and a supportive partner, contributing collectively, spiritually, financially, socially, emotionally, then men can truly also begin to live their lives in that semblance of the understanding of the redefined man in this era. So if you're a man and you're intending to be with a woman, you must begin to let her know you're a partner. We're partners and we're a work in progress, right? So guess what? The narrative of the past is no longer prevalent in this time. And the final P, the seventh P, is that man is the patriarch. He must lead with humility, leaving a legacy for future generations. Sometimes the man eats last. Sometimes everybody has gone, he's going through pains, but yes, he's there. He's leading the head to ensure that there's great success. So in this redefined nomenclature of masculinity in these times, these 7 P's embraces what really men are, and it won't just be that. Like I said, it's not that you are the HusBANK, but now you can see the dimensions, 7 dimensions. Okay, the first dimension is that man is a protector. The second dimension is that man is what? A preserver. The third dimension is that man is a provider. The fourth dimension is that man is a procreator. The fifth dimension is that man is a priest over his home. The sixth dimension is that he is a partner with his spouse. Okay, and the seventh dimension of the redefined man in this era is that man is a patriarch. The same way you have the matriarch. Okay, so man is he is the partner, is the matriarch, and everything all being said. So in closing, let me quickly just we're going to wrap this up shortly. Now look, masculinity today cannot be reduced to financial provision. That stereotype is outdated. Yes, I'm telling you, that stereotype is outdated. Else you will just see that you have begun to live a life, that is clearly not acceptable. Clearly not acceptable. You must now change that narrative now. You must change that narrative. That narrative has ceased to be the norm. Yes, it's no longer the narrative, that look, masculinity today cannot be reduced to financial provision or outdated stereotypes. It cannot, So real men, let's go now. Real men provide not just for today, but for eternity by leading their families in love and faith and wisdom. Guys, I don't know. I've had a great time, just sharing, and just having to share on day one my perspective as to this thing called masculinity. And however I want to look at it, I hope that this must have made some sense. That you don't just see yourself as a provider, you see yourself as a partner. And when you are a partner, then there are roles and responsibilities that we all just must have. And then on that basis, you can take full responsibility and take ownership. Well, I promise that this will be concluded in 30 or 35 minutes. And I think we're way in line. And I'm going to be bringing this to a close. If you're watching this at some point, whenever you watch this, it would be nice to let us know what your thoughts are. And you probably also just, subscribe to this channel. Tomorrow promises to be, I don't even know what to say. Tomorrow is going to be unusual, right? Tomorrow is day 2. And do I want to tell you what tomorrow's topic is? Okay. So as we progress on this journey of this drive, I hope that you will also come in with some of your thoughts as to what is possible. Like, what would you want us to talk about? And I be rest assured that we're going to give you all that we think we should, just to help us take on this journey effectively. So tomorrow we're going to be talking about my wife earns more. Am I still the man? Look, if you know any man, or you're about to get married to any man, or you're a woman that probably also just is planning to get married, okay, tune in for tomorrow, same time, and we're going to be having to unravel and define masculinity today. Till then, I hope that you have a good night and you keep being phenomenal. Have a wonderful evening and see you tomorrow.